Good morning, YouTube. It's Big Daddy Richard Reed from General Tres Cavite, Sunday, August the 2nd, around 9 o'clock in the morning. Uh, this morning, I'd like to talk about a few things. Yesterday, we got to go back over to Judah's mom's house. Uh, they had their little barangay checkpoint there, and as soon as we stopped, there was one old lady, which I hadn't seen before. She just could not quit looking at me like I was the biggest germ carrier in the world. Just kept on looking, so I give her the evil eye just about as much as she did. In that turn, they took Judah's quarantine pass until we came back, which no big deal. But anyway, over at Judah's mom's house today, they are locked down all day long. There's military and barangay police over there keeping everybody in their house. Here in the Philippines, the coronavirus has spiked unreal. It's over 60,000 cases, and it seemed just like the other day it was only 30,000 cases. The frontliners are wore out. They are calling and saying, we need a break, lock everybody down again. And that's called and the government is actually talking about putting everybody back to enhanced community quarantine. That's a little bit tighter than what we are today. At that time when we first was in it, our barangay and our home association with military were riding around with loudspeakers telling everybody to stay in the house. The kids were not allowed to go outside. I was not allowed to go outside. So, we're going to go backwards, it sounds like. Excuse me. But whatever it takes to get over this stuff, I tell you, in the last couple of days, I've been having some good debates with family and friends back in Tennessee. Tennessee has become one of the hot spots in the United States for this coronavirus. The hospitals are full, the ICUs are full, but yet you turn on the TV. I got internet TV, so I can watch my hometown news, and you see pictures of people walking around not social distancing, not wearing masks. And I had one lady that says, well, we're here, nobody's catching the virus. Well, that's fine and dandy. You're not only protecting yourself wearing a mask, you're protecting others. Nobody knows. This is just like AIDS. Nobody knows. You don't have a big sign on your face that said I got AIDS or I've got the coronavirus. Nobody knows. Yesterday is very weird. It's funny. I'll tell you what happened to me. I have a friend in Tennessee that tested positive, and he had symptoms. He wrote a very long post yesterday, and I sit there and read everything. And, the main thing he's saying is, don't wait. Find a doctor that will start treatment. And he put out his treatment. Of course, it's the malaria pill. I can't say the word that President Trump put out. He says he's taking that. He's taking an antibiotic. He's taking supplements to protect his immune system, and he's getting better. So, there's treatment out here if you catch it in time. Anyway, he was telling his symptoms, and I thought, oh my God, I've got the same symptoms, because some mornings I'll wake up with cramps. That's one of the symptoms, and that's it's from not drinking enough water, and I get hot. Well, I get hot flashes at night. I'm 68 years old. You get hot flashes, and I burn up. I have to turn the air conditioner on, but I'm not sick. I haven't. Judah, she checks me. She'll come by and rub my head and see if I got a temperature, and of course not. So I talked myself into almost getting sick yesterday, and that can happen also. So people, just take care. If you really feel like you're getting sick, I would advise, and no, I'm not advising, this is what I would do. If I feel that I'm sick, I'm going to go to the hospital. I'm going to take a test. A rapid test. And another thing about this test, I talked to one of my scuba diving friends down in Batangas, and he had a post that he took a test while he was in Manila to get to come home to Batangas, paid 3,000 pesos. The same test at Batangas Pier, which you have to have that test to get on a boat there, is anywhere from 8 to 15,000 pesos. This is typical thing with the Filipinos. They see someplace, some way to make money off of you, they jack that price up. You know, and I'm sorry if I offend anyone, I'm really sorry, but it's true. A few months ago, my son, here they don't circumcise children when they're babies. They do it when they're teenagers. Well, we were advised to go to the doctor and talk to them, which we did, and that doctor says, well, it's going to cost you 12,000. The doctor's part would be 12,000 pesos, and plus the operating room. I thought, doctor, give me a sharp scalpel and I'll do it myself. It's nothing but a bunch of foreskin. Well, anyway, Judith took Matt over to the barangay. They have a big thing every year. There's a doctor comes over and he charges 500 pesos per kid. He's there all day cutting foreskin off peckers. And 500 pesos is 10 bucks. So that's the comparison. They see a foreigner, the price goes up. I mean, it's just natural for them. Even though they're good people and they're not trying to rip you up, in their mind, we are rich. And, you just have to be patient with them. You have to, if they tell you one price, you got to shop around, because you can find the right price. You can find somebody that's not going to jack it up. Same thing with these air conditioners. I walk in, first thing they do, they take me to the most expensive air conditioner, and you start talking about something else. Oh, we're out of stock, we're out of stock, we're out of stock. And then all of a sudden you get up to leave. Where are you going? Well, we'll go find somebody that's got some stock. Then they find the air conditioner. It's almost become a joke here. I don't go shopping anymore. I let my wife go to buy anything and everything, because they just jack the price up to unreasonable prices here. When we remodeled this house, I did not go with her to buy one thing. We would have paid double for most of the stuff. But she got a fair deal most of the time. Sometimes she paid a little bit too much, but that's life in general. One more thing I want to talk about. It's Sunday. And here, I used to go to church here. And, I'm a very conservative. I grew up in the Baptist church ever since I was a little boy. And I come here, and I went to three Baptist churches since I've been here. The first one, it's a big Baptist church in Pasay. No problems. The second one, I wasn't there 10 minutes before the pastor come over wanting 40,000 pesos. Why? Oh, because you're rich. The third was a good man. I'm not going to mention churches, not going to mention names or where they're at. But the third one, after quit going to the second one, I was in dire need of hearing the Word of God. And this guy, he preached the Word of God. But the churches here in the Philippines, they are nothing like what's in the States or Canada or such. These churches belong to the pastors. So he makes his money by the collection plate and donations. And when the one we went to, it wasn't every month or so. They wanted you to make commitments. And if you didn't fulfill your commitment, he preached about you going to hell for not making your commitment. We helped pay the electricity bill for the church for a couple of years. We fed the church. Once a week, we had the church, youth come over here and eat, and most of the time, everybody in the church would come, which was okay. That was, it's just a way that we could help them. If it was to give them a little food or a little water, God asked us to do that. But finally, it got to the point that they were just asking so much every day. The pastor decided he was going to buy property and build a church. Well, we'd all committed to give something, and once we gave it, he wanted more. And I could not give no more. I made all the commitments I could make. I made so many commitments that I put myself in a financial situation I had to get out of. I overburdened myself. And they wouldn't take no for an answer. So now, he got mad at me when I told him I couldn't do it. Basically, he said, well, if you don't like what I'm doing here, start your own church. Well, I haven't started my own church because I'm not a pastor. But what we have done, we sit here every morning and we read the Bible. We talk about it. We love each other. And as soon as this coronavirus is over, we're going to find another church to go to, but not get involved like we have the others. And maybe we can stay a little bit longer. Anyway, this is Big Daddy Richard Reed and General Tres Cavite. I hope you thumbs up, subscribe, comment. My Facebook is Richard Reed, R-E-E-D. My email is rdreed2004@gmail.com. Again, like, thumbs up, and subscribe, please. Thank you. Have a good day. God bless.